Hello everybody, welcome back to the James Lawrence Allcott channel. Now Man United have just beaten Newcastle United 3-2. What a game we have just watched. Or if you haven't watched it, then I'm about to go through it right now. Quick apologies for the hat hair. Been wearing a hat all day, but you know, look, these things happen. But that's not important because this is one of the games that are going to be remembered for a long time. Will it be the start of something a lot more positive for Jose Mourinho and Man United, or will it just be the delaying of the inevitable? Either way, what a game of football we've just watched. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'll try and get the chat on as soon as I can. I think you guys are starting to turn up, which is great. Make sure you come and say hello. If you're new to the channel, then hit that subscribe button. I am the neutral one. I offer up my thoughts on different football games and just try and give a neutral point of view towards it. I'm a QPR fan, by the way, but watch the game today. Afterwards, watch QPR first. Good draw for us, happy with that. But then, of course, watch this Man United game and wow. The first half and the second half, two incredibly different games, and Jose Mourinho had to step up and make some really, really brave decisions. Now, the starting lineup, it involved a little man by the name of McTominay, who started for Man United, and that was one of the big decisions. The other one being the fact that Sanchez wasn't starting, he was on the bench, and of course that Bai was back in the side. The game started with Man United looking a bit nervous, but more importantly, and a lot of Man United fans who are watching this right now, you won't have seen a team week after week struggling down at the bottom. And so hopefully that's a little bit of insight that I can offer you right now, because I've watched football teams struggling in a huge way. And when you are down the bottom there, when the confidence is so low, you're looking for leadership. Now in the first 10 minutes of that game, Newcastle went 2 goals up. A big reason for that was, them being on the front foot, them smelling blood a little bit. They saw an opportunity for themselves. But a huge reason was the lackluster display from Manchester United and the utter mess that is the back line of Man United at the moment. Look, Luke Shaw is a different element to that. I think he's someone who's getting better and better each game, and despite the difficulties of the entire team, he's actually been a bright light, I think, Luke Shaw. Ashley Young, very different. I think he was well out of his depth. And for that first goal for Kennedy, you saw how poor he was defensively. And that meant that obviously they went 1-0 down. Then from nowhere, I was watching the game and I was literally in shock as the second goal went in. Because just the defending and the lack of energy in the team was unbelievable. And even for, as I say, a fan of a team that has struggled at different times, when you are down the bottom, you see that lack of energy. There's this inability to be on the front foot. And also you're obviously playing against teams who can see the lack of confidence that you've got, and so they go for it. As I said, they smell blood, and that shows a bit more. They're able to show a bit more positivity because they go, yes, we can do something here against this team. We can pick them off, and that's what teams have been doing against Man United recently, and that's what Newcastle did in the first half of the game. I thought they were great, and really they should have and needed to. And I thought at that moment in time, I thought Man United need to get to half time. They need to hang on. If they could sneak a goal before then that would be great, but otherwise, they needed to hang on because Newcastle had so many chances that should have been. They'll be devastated that they haven't scored more than 2 goals. Mutu with a header, that's a world-class save from David Gea, to be fair. But in the second half of the game as well, Newcastle had chances. And this will be a game where Newcastle fans will go, fuck, we've really screwed up here. Because that was a game that was there to be won. But these brave decisions that we're talking about when it comes to Man United. And now, look, Carlos, David, hello, pal. You're saying that they were spawny there. Not for me. Not for me. Mourinho's made some brave choices there. Some that are quite revealing, in particular the Bai one. So Bai has come off as a substitute at 19 minutes. And he's kept McTominay on. And he's put McTominay from a centre midfield position that he was initially in back into centre back. That made them look even worse, Man United, and that is a a massive call for Mourinho to make, and not the right one in my opinion. But the thing that I did like about it was that he's gone, look, we're 2-0 down, we need to change it. And so by changing it, what he did is he put Mata on. For the rest of that first half, though, what you were lacking, if you're a Manchester United fan, was leadership. I thought Pogba was looking to get on the ball at times. The person I was really disappointed with, and again, I'm going to go back to a football fan who supports a team that is down there. When you're down there, the player that you're looking to, the position that you're looking to get you back into a game, to get you on a stable footing, yes, it's the centre-backs they've got to defend, but it's your centre midfielders. And Nemanja Matic, in my opinion, was a massive disappointment as someone who's who should be a leader of that team. He should have gone, right, give me the ball, let me sort this out. Pogba was trying to do it at times, and I think that led to difficulty. And you saw in the second half that they just really went for it. But the first half, in terms of people that I was disappointed with, Ashley Young is that he's become a fullback now, and I think there's problems there with that. But as one of the senior players, Pogba, I felt like he was trying to get on the ball. Matic, though, for me, was really, really disappointing. Second half, brave decision again. McTominay wasn't working. And what Mourinho knew in this game was that Newcastle were going to defend. They had something to defend now. And so he had to go for it. And he knew that he needed to get as many of his attacking players on, as many of his weapons on as possible. And so he looked to do that again by bringing Fellaini on. And what he did was he set up it up in a way that it was like schoolboy football where he's going, right, who's my best guy? Who's my best guy in terms of getting the ball? And he gave Pogba almost a free role, but a free role in the back line. So when they had the ball, you had Smalling and Matic who would spread out as wide centre-backs normally do. But then you would put Pogba in the middle to get on the ball, to get things moving. Because in that second half, Pogba stepped up and showed what a captain can be. Because Mourinho turned to Pogba and said, right, I need you and I need the players now to sort it out for me. We're going to go for it. Newcastle are going to defend. And Pogba further up the pitch, when you've got a situation like that, when you've got a Newcastle side just defending for their lives, it wasn't going to work for him. He's not going to be as impressive in those areas. That said, Pogba had such a free role that he was able to pick up the ball and start attacks and drive the team forward and get the ball moving quickly, but he was also able to move up the pitch. But all that said, they needed a goal and they needed a bit of quality. And so for that first substitution where you need maybe that bit of calmness when you're up against it and you need a goal, Juan Mata stepped up with a free kick that was unsavable in my opinion, and it was incredible, absolutely incredible. He stepped up and that got them going, that got the fans off their back. And often when you are 2-0 down, you've got nothing to lose and you are able to go for it. But you need that little bit of momentum. And that comes from those little moments. And they do have players in the attacking third that can do that for them. And Juan Mata was a smart substitution because when they got that free kick and they needed someone to rely on, Juan Mata got them going. Second half, Pogba then drived, and you saw him in positions in the final third when you were thinking, okay, hang on a minute, isn't he a centre-back? Well, no, he wasn't. He was given the free rein. And what's been labelled at Man United a hell of a lot in the last few weeks is, are they playing for the manager? Are they working hard enough for the manager? Maybe they've been restricted by the manager, but you saw in the second half that there was the desire needed and the desire to play for Jose Mourinho. And I think a big reason for that was at half-time, Jose Mourinho, he said to the players, it's on you guys. And I need my main men, my big men to step up and do something for me. There are no bigger at Man United than Paul Pogba. And Paul Pogba, who I've been more than willing to dig out because he hasn't stepped up and you know he can, he stepped up. Because you saw him picking up the ball, as I said, on the halfway line and generally playing a deeper role, a playmaker role, a quarterback role. But then he got up further the pitch and he was able to link up with Martial, who ran himself into the ground. And then Martial delivered a cracking finish on 76 minutes. But the little flick in from him was class. Pogba with a little Cruyff turn back to him was fantastic. And then Martial with a great finish. It gets to 2-2 and then really... You think there's only going to be one winner, but Diame has got a chance pretty quickly after that from a corner when he's got a header. And for Newcastle fans, you've got to be fuming because when it gets to those moments, you need to take your chances, and you've had the chances. If you were given the amount of clear-cut chances that you've been given in this game, if you were offered that at the start of the game, you would have bitten anyone's hand off for that deal. And Diarmi has let you down there. He had a good chance in the first half as well, where he was sort of running through when Man United were in absolute disarray. But again, the freedom and the final brave decision for Mourinho. And you look, there's moments when he gets it right. There's moments when he gets wrong. Even in this game, he's done that. As I said with Bailly, there's something deeper going on there because Bailly should have stayed on the pitch. I know he was awful in the first 10 minutes, 90 minutes, but you've got to stick with him. He's one of your main signings. McTominay going into centre-back was going to be a bad decision. But he totally went for it. And the last decision, bringing on Sanchez for Rashford. Rashford... Lots of heart. Of course, he's a Man United fan and he's one of their own. But it wasn't working for him. He'd had a few good chances in terms of headers, and it just wasn't working at all. And they had to make the decision to take him off, and he did. He brought Sanchez on, and for me, Sanchez was needed from the start. I think he should have stuck with him. I think he should stick with Sanchez because he's someone who doesn't hide. And in these moments, you need players who aren't going to hide, and Sanchez is one of them. But he played, and he got that moment. He got that moment, and the ball went in, and you thought it would have going to be Fellaini or Martial, but Sanchez has shown that he's got the quality to be there, even a little guy like him, to get that header, to get the goal, and Man United win the game 3-2. Let me know your thoughts right now. Get them in the comments. I know you've said a few comments there, guys, but I haven't been able to read them so far. So, look, I'm going to read them now. Let's have a look. Rob Turn, how funny would it be if he gets the sack after this? I think if they sack him after this, then that's mind-blowingly stupid, because I think for the first time you've seen the desire, and you've seen the desire from the Man United players that you want to see if you're a Man United fan. I think Jose Mourinho, well, you hope, don't you? You hope he's learned something from this game. You've hoped that he needs to trust Pogba. He maybe needs to trust Pogba a bit deeper in the pitch, allow him to pick up the ball and then go and drive with it. He needs to take the handbrake off for a lot of these players in this team. But if he allows them to do that, then it allows them to play with the freedom and the desire to go and get the points. You saw when he got the third goal, the initial panic was right defensively, get back, get shaped, stop the gaps in between. And that's just drilled into Mourinho. I think that's a tactic that he's kind of developed in his mind, but it's maybe something that if he needs to develop and move forward as a manager and move forward with Man United, then he's going to have to change the way he does things. Let's read a few comments, guys. I feel like Arsene Wenger should take over the Man United job. Wow. I think it's... it's not the worst shout, but I think that would be hypocritical to a lot of the criticism that people have given to Arsene Wenger. What else we got? Nicholas Navarro, what do they say about Sanchez in England? He's from Chile. Hi, Nicholas. I hope you're enjoying this. By the way, just to say, if you're watching this for the first time, then hit that subscribe button. I do this a lot after games, react to the game. So if you're enjoying what you're seeing, then please hit that subscribe button. And hit the like button. 152 people watching right now. Wow. I'm going to read every single comment. If you can get those... Look, can we hit 100 likes for this video? That would be amazing. Let's read some comments, though, and maybe give us some questions as well. Who we got? Orange Ape, hello, pal. Result just delaying the inevitable as far as I'm concerned. Possibly. We'll see if that day... I think it was the Daily Mirror, wasn't it, that there was... that there was the comment and the report that he would be sacked after this game. I think if you do it, I think it's a big mistake to do it now after such a comeback, because you could have the start of some momentum. Carlos David, Mata is quality. Yes, he is. MN Soccer 1966. Pogba stride doubles when he's playing well. I thought the freedom that he was, not the freedom, just the leadership, the captaincy that a midfielder should show. He should be fearless in what he's doing when the team is against the wall, because the other players do look to Pogba. He is that character, in my opinion, and he needs to do more of that. But it was one of those situations when you're 2-0 down, there's nothing to lose. There's absolutely nothing to lose. And so he stepped up, but you cannot discount that. You know, if you're going to have a go at Pogba when it's not working, when his passes aren't working, then you've got to give him the plaudits at the other side of it as well. Partey, a badge. I don't think he can stay, but people that won't give him credit when he wins just grinds my gears. If he had lost today, it would have been his fault. I think you're right, but he's won, so it's got to be. You got to give him some plaudits for it. That said, he did leave it to the players in a sense. I think if he was playing against another side, he would have been punished a lot more. But Benitez is playing, he's putting together a squad that's just really, really struggling, and that could really hurt them. The fact that they've lost the game today, they needed a victory, and I only see it getting worse for Newcastle, if I'm honest. JS need to bring Wenger back. What, at Man United? That would be an unbelievable story. Dylan is red. Sebashki, why are we always related on Matic and Fellaini? Fred Pereira are more quality players. I think that's a deeper rooted problem that is going on at Man United right now, because look at that squad and look at the players that are not playing right now, not starting for Man United. There's obviously been some problems, and Mourinho's got a lack of trust with some of these players. And so he needs to find that again. And maybe he needs to look at himself and give himself, a kick up the backside and go, look, I need to believe in these players a little bit more. And if he can extend that to them, then that will energise them, give them that the energy and the belief, and with that comes the confidence. And you've seen that at Liverpool, you've seen that at Chelsea, that look, we're not going to worry about the opposition, we're going to worry about ourselves and the attacking players that we've got. And that's something that was needed. And maybe when their backs were against the wall and they had to do that, maybe this is the moment. I think we're asking a lot for Mourinho to totally change, but a second half of football and a win, it covers over a lot of cracks. The back four and the centre-back position is a massive, massive problem for Man United, and it's one that's not going to go away. But the best way of keeping the ball away from the centre-backs is to keep the ball and keep the ball down the other end. And another good way of combating with bad centre-backs is to score so many goals that it doesn't matter how bad your centre-backs are. So these are a few things and a few possible lessons that Jose Mourinho needs to take on board, because he does need to learn some lessons here, because he's got a squad that has talented players, but there are massive problems as well. And being as negative as he is it takes away energy. It takes away a lot of energy from the team, in my opinion. But that is just my opinion. Let me know your opinion in the comments below. Thank you so much, everyone who's watched. If you are new to the channel and you've enjoyed having a chat with me, then please hit that subscribe button, hit the like button as well, because it makes the video do that a little bit better. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll see you all very, very soon.